interest in corporate training. He is also a great consultant and is closely related to radio broadcasting. So welcome to the show, Sitesh. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Kanchan, and it's always nice to talk to you. And I can see that you are enjoying the Delhi winter, and I really miss those days. I'm sitting in Bangalore, which is like a pleasant, but it is not that interesting pink winter that you keep talking about.
Yeah,
How are you?
yeah, I'm fine. I'm enjoying winter, and it's a lovely winter because there's a lot of good things happening currently at the moment with me and around me also. And when I say around me, that means I also happen to see television today, and you know that this farmer and government tussle on these farm laws has reached to Supreme Court. And today, Supreme Court said the farmers has constitutional right to continue their absolute perfect protest as long as their problem is not against the three controversial agricultural law, did not slip into violence. So the Supreme Court also said, and I quote, that we clarify that this court will not interfere with the protest in question. Indeed, the right to protest is the part of fundamental right and can be matter of fact be exercised subject to public order. There can be certainly no problem in exercising such right as long as it is non-violent and does not result in damage of life and properties of other people. So you see I think Supreme Court has upheld the fundamental right of freedom, right of speech, when we and it is closely associated with the protest because farmers have some problem with the government and the farm laws. So they are very right in doing this protest. But at the same time, Sitesh, I feel that government has never closed their doors for dialogue and they have given ample opportunities. Now it is, I think, 45 and 46 day of farmer agitation. But I really got a little disturbed when I heard that few people from these farm agitation, they are going and would be interrupting 26 January Republic Parade. So that is something which really I feel this should not be done, and this kind of thought should not come in any of the agitation. What do you think about this?
So I agree, Kanchan, that a national issue of this stature should only be spoken with the government or the representatives of the government in a conducive, cordial, bilateral manner. And it should not be taken to the Republic Day or Independence Day kind of national functions, which are watched all over the world, and make it an international issue for no reason. And what Supreme Court has said today, they have upheld the democratic process, which is good. But I also note that they said that there has been no petition for the benefit of the farm laws, but there have been petitions on against of it. So the protest should continue as long as there is no criminal intent in it and as long as they want to protest. And therefore it was asked to the government to put on hold. Now, the interesting part is that why there was a need for Supreme Court to come to picture in this, why did it prevail so long that it came to Supreme Court? That is one question. Second is that this is not just 1 week or 10 days. I believe it has been now more than a month. There should have been a right democratic approaches on taking the farmers for the discussion or their, all political parties meet could have happened. And I think when we put everything on a political plate and discuss it for the farmers, I think there could have been a solution, or still there is a solution for to go ahead in an incremental phase. And sometimes, Kanchan, in the world of politics, one step backward does not mean any kind of a retreat. It could mean an onslaught at another opportune time, because the time will come, if there is a real intent in these farm laws, the time would come. And otherwise, the government always has a way of doing it things through the ordinance of the parliament. What do you say?
Yeah, I feel that government, I think, is cooperating with the farmers, but at the same time, it is not easy for government to really repeal all the laws, because whatever I have read and whatever I have understood, I think there are these laws which are benefiting farmers. They will have larger the portion they can sell outside mandi, and they can get more money out of their produce, which is missing now. And when I'm going through the news, I also happen to see that court has also cautioned government against trying to instigate violence. So government, upon the government, the Supreme Court is also putting a lot of pressure, though I don't think so government is instigating any violence, but still. And then CGI stressed that the fellow Indians, the judges, to understand the farmers' problem. So actually, we all understand the farmers' problem, but at the same time, there's one Attorney General K.K. Venugopal strongly objected to the farmers' conduct also. Because I also feel that farmers' conduct somehow, when they say that they will be going on 26th January parade and disrupt it. So I feel that is something farmers leaders, they have to look into that. And this the Attorney General K.K. Venugopal also said the farmer cannot corner the government into saying yes or no to their demands to repeal the laws. The government was ready to discuss clause by clause these laws. So I also see whatever I see on television, whatever I heard, the government is ready to really discuss the laws. But then you put a lot of pressure, and I think few pressure are unnecessary.
So, as I said, Kanchan, in our country, thanks to the diversity that we have in our country, where cultural differences, language differences, food habits, they all change every 500 kilometers. The situations like this have been handled in the previous times, with all political party meets, the organizations being together, the leaders brought on the board. And I think the great dialogue, the importance of that dialogue has to be there, while the other ways of getting things done also needs to be practiced side by side. There is no one way or the other way. And in the world of politics, there also cannot be my way or highway, from any side, from both sides, I believe. So I think the importance of the dialogue between the farmers organizations and the government, this should have been done in such a conducive way where there would not have been any need for Supreme Court to come in. We have seen previously also several times, probably during the last Manmohan Singh government, many times Supreme Court had to intervene and take a right decision or a right call, which one way or other, which says that the democratically elected leaders or the government, they somehow are unable to sort this issue or a stalemate, and therefore the Supreme Court has to come in. Otherwise, there is no need for Supreme Court to come and basically try to do a balancing act. That should be kept as probably as a last option. And that's where I feel is that even now going forward, I think there is need to be a healthy dialogue. There could be something, government need not pull back everything. Probably they can say we are committed in bringing this, and we will take probably 31st of August to see the full implementation of it, and it is like 6 months, 7 months down the line, and we will engage with all the parties, committees of farmers, committees of political leaders, the people who are affected, and they can say 31st August or 31st July, whichever date they agree, or they say that will show that let the farmers go back from the protest, let them get the feel. Like in the retail sector, we say that when you launch a very commercial interesting product, let the population feel it by giving different discounts or marketing gimmicks, and then people get used to of it. So let what government has promised, let that start coming in one way or other, so that the real farmer can see the difference, what he will get after 6 months down the line, when the implementation would anyway come. So I think the protest would then end, people would go back, they would start seeing the change from the behavior, from the apprehensions of a corporate versus the mandi versus the adhatyas, and then maybe in 2 3 months time they would see a bigger picture, and probably that is a way. But that is my suggestion.
Yes, because I also feel very pain when I see these farmers sitting on Delhi borders in such a chilling winter, and really feel really bad about them, because they are the annadatas and they have a problem. So I think both the parties should sit together and sort out the real cause of this agitation. And I also feel that agitation for the sake of agitation, I think it's not good. We should sit down and work out a plan for these farmers, so that they can go home and be with their families and start working for in the fields after some time, because Lodi is also around the corner. So it's a festival. So they should go back and be in the family at least for some time. And I really feel pain when they're sitting out in winters and demanding something. And at the same time, I feel the government should have a proper ear to really listen to them, understand their problem, and why they are agitating. That is also, I think, we should consider government. Government should consider this.
Correct. So I think my another perspective to this handling of this is, uh, no single formula which has worked before may work this time. That is the rule in Indian politics, where the constituents or the protesting lot or communities, they come from diverse backgrounds, their needs are different, their expectations are different, and they have been experiencing one kind of a system for long, maybe 2 3 decades. So until and unless we understand from a policy perspective how does it affect the common man, the common farmer, it is like saying that I am selling you a product, you go and read the handout, you go and read the user manual, you will come to know. That is one way of doing. And you remember we used to read thick manuals before using any of the products. Now we just start using it. In the in IT world we call it freemium model, freemium model, and then slowly we introduce. So probably in politics we need to bring those new fresh thoughts, new agile way of thinking, rather than bringing the old traditional way of pushing things and then getting it back. And I think when we engage with the crowds that we see in the protesting areas, it is very, very hard. And knowing the community of farmers, they are really very resilient. It has been more than a month in this excruciating winter, sitting over there. It talks volumes. And even if the government has to implement, which the intention is clear, the intent is clear, the transparency is there, but probably little more human touch with, the stick can be put in the back and a human touch has to come front. Nobody should be allowed to take law in their hands, but at the same time, everybody needs to be brought to the table, whoever matters here, and then given the perspective and tell this is 2021 and things have to move from here to the third decade of this century. And this is good for farmers. So the story, the narrative, and you need, from a political angle, you need friends in another political parties also. People like Pranab Mukherjee who could cut across the party lines, who could, during our Vajpayee ji's time, Mr. L.K. Advani was the person who could cut across the political lines. So we need to create those leaders in the current government who can go and make the consensus from the other side and bring people on table. So we need probably a real Chanakya here, Kanchan.
Yes, when you're talking about these leaders, I recall leaders like Charan Singh and Lal Bahadur Shastri. And today is the death anniversary of Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. So,
Yes.
Somebody who understands, somebody who is more down to the earth, and somebody who is son of soil, I mean, who knows the problem of these farmers. So I think that is very crucial point which you have just made. And I think tomorrow morning we'll see what is next. जिसे हिंदी में बोलते हैं कि आगे सुबह सूरज क्या लेकर आता है. We get to know about this. So I am with the farmers. I am also with the government. We have to really need what I feel is need a very cordial dialogue of farmers with the government and of government with the farmers. I think that is the way to go.
Yes, Kanchan, and I think we going forward we will also add interesting lingo. Instead of just sons of the soil, we will also say sons and daughters of the soil.
Yes, very true, very true. I miss daughters somehow, but always.
Thank you.
It was lovely talking to you, Siddesh. We were very positive about the outcome of this dialogue and discussion, and the way Supreme Court is dealing with this issue. So we'll meet again with some other interesting topic next time. Till then, bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Kanchan. Have a great day ahead. Great evening.
Bye-bye.